What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out the Narwal Freo lineup of robot cleaners. On my right here we have the most expensive out of the three. This is the Narwal Freo X Ultra. In the middle we have our mid-range device. This is the Narwal Freo, and on my left here we have kind of like the entry-level device, which is the Narwal Freo X Plus. So in today's video we're going to be comparing these three robot cleaners, see which one does what better and so on. So hopefully by the end of this video you're going to have enough information so you can actually choose the right robot cleaner for your needs and of course your home environment. Okay, so we are going to start by talking about the vacuuming side of each one of these robot cleaners, and we are starting with the most expensive out of the three, which is the X Ultra right here. So this one has a suction power of 8200 PA, so a lot of suction power. If you have pets, if you have a mess in your house, typically this one will do good because it can pick up anything from hard floors and carpets. So a lot of suction power from this one. Moving on to our mid-range device, well, this one has a suction power of 3000 PA, so much lower than this one. So this one will still do good if you have hard floors. However, if you do have carpets at home and mostly thicker carpets at home, you're going to notice that this one has to go over an area 2 or 3 times to clean everything, where something like this one only has to go over an area once. So there is a big difference for suction power between this one and this one. Now, for my environment here at home here, I actually find that this one works fine because I don't have pets, I don't have a mess on the floor. So for me personally, this one does work good, but depending on your home environment, you may need more suction power, and this one is able to deliver more suction power. Now, if you do need that extra suction power that the Ultra here has to offer, but at the same time you don't want to spend the money for the Ultra, the Narwal Freo X Plus here offers really good suction power as well. So this one has a suction power of 7800 PA. So it is much more powerful than our mid-range device, which is the Narwal Freo. So the vacuuming capabilities between the Ultra and the Plus are pretty similar. However, the Ultra here does mopping much better, and we'll get into mopping in just a bit. But if your home just requires a vacuum that vacuums, the entry-level device, the Narwal Freo X Plus, is a really good choice because it has pretty much all the features that we get from the Ultra, but at a much lower price. And I'm talking about the vacuuming side of these vacuums. Another thing you have to take into consideration when buying a robot vacuum is how much hair you have at home. Now, if you're like me, you have no hair and you're the only person living there, no pets, you can buy any of them and all of them will do great. However, if you do have longer hair, if someone that has longer hair lives in your house, or you have a pet that has hair, you have to think about that brush at the bottom of the vacuum. So these three have been vacuuming my house and washing my house for about a week, about the same amount of time on each one of them. And if we look at the brush that we have on the Narwal Freo, so our mid-range device, you're going to notice there is a lot of hair stuck on that brush. I'm going to add a closer shot so you can actually see that better. So basically with this one, you're going to have to remove that brush every few days and clean it. If we look at our Ultra models, so the most expensive out of the three, again, I'll add the closer shot here. There is basically no hair stuck on that brush. So this one features a zero hair tangling aerodynamic brush. So basically no hair will be stuck on that brush. And the same kind of goes for the Plus here. So kind of similar technology as the Ultra, and I'll add a closer shot, but basically we have no hair stuck on those brushes for the Ultra and the Plus. So if you do have a lot of hair at home, one of these will be the better choice than our mid-range device. Another thing you have to consider about robot vacuums is the dustbin size inside them. So this one, our Narwal Freo, has a ½ liter dustbin. So you're gonna have to empty this every 2 to 3 weeks, depending how much dirt you have at home. Where our Ultra and the Plus here have a 1 liter dustbin or dust bag size here. These two also do a 2 times dust compression, so it will compress all that dust in that dust bin or dust bag. So with one of these, you're not gonna have to clean them for 6 to 7 weeks, depending how much dust and stuff you have at home. But basically the Ultra and the Plus have larger bin sizes. Next, we are talking about mopping, because mopping is also a very important part of one of these robot cleaners. So the Narwal Freo, so our mid-range device, and the Narwal Freo X Ultra have very similar mopping systems at the bottom. So basically they both have two of these mop brushes at the bottom that spin and wash your floor. Both devices also feature AI dirt sense, so they will basically check the floor and make sure the floor is clean, and if it's not clean they will go over the same area until it becomes clean. So the mopping systems on these two devices is very similar. They will both go back to their wash stations and wash those mops throughout the cleaning cycle. We'll go back out, we'll go back to that wash station. So the mopping that you're gonna get from the Narwal Freo and the Narwal Freo X Ultra is very similar. They both can lift those mops whenever they get to carpets. So this is also a very important factor, because this way your carpets aren't gonna get wet, and they both put 12 newtons of downward force on the floor. So they're actually pushing on the floor to make sure that the floors are washed properly. So these two devices, in my experience, have very similar mopping capabilities. I haven't actually found a difference between the Narwal Freo and the Narwal Freo X Ultra. So for me, they are very similar for mopping. As for the Narwal Freo X Plus, so our cheapest device out of the three, well, the mopping that you get from this device is very different. So nowhere as good as the mopping that you're gonna get from the Narwal Freo or the Freo X Ultra. So this one basically has this mop pad that will drag on your floor. It also has a little water tank that you're gonna have to fill up right here. But the mopping that you're gonna get from it is nowhere as good as the mopping that you're gonna get from the other two. So I guess that is the main difference and why this one is so much cheaper in comparison to the other two. But if you just need something to pick up the dust from the floor, this will do great. These ones will actually scrub the floor. So the Narwal Freo and the Narwal Freo X Ultra will actually scrub the floor. Well, this one just goes over the floor. Of course, it will pick up dust and stuff, but it will not scrub the floor. So that is a big difference. If you're looking for great mopping, if your floors are typically dirty and you need a robot to actually clean them well, either the Narwal Freo or the Freo X Ultra will do much better than the Plus here. So that is a big difference in between these three for mopping. As for the vacuums finding their way throughout your house, well, all three vacuums will map out your entire house. All three vacuums know exactly where they are at all times. They know where they have to go. They know where they've been. They know how to go back to the docking station to recharge. Of course, the Narwal Freo and the Freo X Ultra can also go back to the docking station to wash the mops every so often. It depends how you set that up from the app. But basically, all three devices know their way around the house and they're not gonna get lost in your house. For obstacle avoidance, all three vacuums work well. Now, the Narwal Freo here, it's using LDS technology, where the Narwal Freo X Ultra and the Narwal Freo X Plus are using a 3-laser structure light that recognize millimeter level objects. So basically, the obstacle avoidance from the Ultra and the Plus is somewhat better than the obstacle avoidance that you're gonna get from the Freo. Now, personally, I always clean the house before I have one of these robots cleaning. So I pick up any toys from the floor, any cables, anything like that. So in my case, it doesn't really matter. But if you have kids that leave toys on the floor and stuff like that, the obstacle avoidance from the Ultra and the Plus will be somewhat better than what you get from the Freo, at least in my experience and what I've seen at home here. But overall, they all three do quite well avoiding obstacles and not hitting furniture. So to quickly conclude this video, if you want the best of the best and money is not object, well, easy choice, the Narwal Freo X Ultra is the one to get. Now, if you're like me and you don't want to spend a crazy amount of money, but you also want to get most of the features of the Ultra here, I feel that the Freo is the better choice. It is much cheaper and it does have most of the features that we get from the Ultra. In my case and my house here, I don't have that much dirt on the floors, obviously, because I have vacuums coming in constantly that always keep the place clean. So this vacuum does the best for me because it has enough suction power for my floors. The mopping is really good from it. The obstacle avoidance is really good as well. So for me, this is the better choice out of the three because of the value this one offers. So I feel that the value that this one, the Freo, offers is best out of the three. Now, if you do have another vacuum at home, maybe the Plus here is worth getting because it is obviously cheaper. It does have really good suction power. So if you have pets or stuff like that, or a lot of hair, this will do great with hair and picking up stuff from the floor. And it's also cheaper. So if you have another vacuum that maybe does mopping, this will do really, really well as a second vacuum, or maybe as a first vacuum if you've never had a robot vacuum before. But my advice, if this is your first robot vacuum that will mop and clean, maybe this one is the better option than Narwal Freo. But again, it depends on everyone's budget and everyone's home, how dirty it is, how much hair you have, and so on. For me, this is the better choice because of the crazy value that this one has to offer. But again, everyone is different, everyone has different needs. Alright guys, hopefully this video was useful and hopefully I made it a bit easier to choose the right robot vacuum cleaner for your house, because I know there are a lot of choices out there and it is a bit confusing and not knowing which device to get. Thanks Narwal for sponsoring this video. As always, there will be some links in the video's description so you can check out any of these vacuums here. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.